Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Endless Road tutorial. While I feature my top tier patrons, let me give you a quick recap of the tutorial so far. Last week I released part 1 covering both the intro and the verse. This week in part 2 we will be taking a look at the chorus, as well as a few variations on the verse and the chorus, and the link into the very first bridge. That first bridge will be covered in the tutorial of next week, part 3, and so far it's still guessing on how many parts it will take to cover the whole of Endless Road. My best guess is about 4, 5, maybe even 6 videos. In the meantime, let's get to work on the chorus. Chorus one time all the way through, and again I'll try and explain as best as I can. Straight back into the next verse. Now, the chorus is short, but it is already a lot more frantic than what is happening in the verse. You're starting with hybrid picking on an E minor 7th chord. Again, Tommy uses that first finger, that index finger, to push down 2 strings. So if you use a more traditional fingering like I do, you will need 4 fingers, index finger, middle finger, on the 2nd fret on both the A string and the D string, and then ring finger and pinky on top. You could play this with a little bar as well. I just find this feeling more natural to me. So ring finger and pinky 3rd fret on the B string and the high E string. Starting out with hybrid picking, just the top E note and the low E note with that 3rd fret on top, and then down, again strumming down and up strokes, down, down, up, down. And then Tommy does a rare thing in this song, is he switches around the picking pattern. So instead of using an upstroke on that last bass note, which is what you should do if you follow the technical concept explained in the intro, you should play an upstroke. He uses a downstroke. So you get hybrid picking, down, down, up, down, down. So that's a quick downstroke to get in there. Down, down, up, down, down. To give his picking hand a little bit of recovery time, he does play the next note using hybrid picking. It's a separate note. You could just as well pick it, but my guess is that this is done to give this hand some time to recuperate from that quick switch. You're keeping down the ring finger on the 3rd fret after that E minor chord. You're just keeping that finger there, putting down the middle finger 3rd fret on the A string for the C bass note, playing an open E string with the middle finger. Next 2 notes are again played with the down and up motion we talked about before. So hammering on to that 2nd fret after using the middle finger to hybrid pick that note, and then a downstroke on the open E string and an upstroke on that next chord. Going to another downstroke for the bass note, upstroke on that 1st fret, bit of a stretch, stretching from the middle finger 3rd fret on the A string to the 1st finger on the B string, to the 1st fret on the B string, sorry. And then strumming, softly strumming some open strings in between there. It doesn't really matter again if you play that 1st fret along with them. It's just a soft rhythmical strum to give the rhythm a little bit of push. Moving to a G over B chord. Now, again, pay special attention to the timing of that C bass note. It is pulled in front of the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm counting double now. Normally it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going to that G over B chord. So pay special attention to the timing here as well. Heading for that G over B chord. So you're coming from that weird stretch Moving down the middle finger to the 2nd fret on the A string, adding in the pinky for the 3rd fret. Hybrid picking, plectrum, middle finger, and just down and up strumming. Down, down, up, down. It's the exact same movement as we saw in the first bar of the chorus. And again, you will now have to switch back to that same quick shift. Again, a downstroke on the spot where you would normally expect an upstroke to be. Down, down, up, down, down. Again, to that same B note you're already fretting with the middle finger. Down, down, up, down, down. And as you would expect, again, to give this hand some time to recover, you're heading for hybrid picking, holding down a B dominant 7th flat 9 chord. Middle finger on the 2nd fret, then a little bar spanning from the D string to the B string across the 1st fret, adding in the the ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. So you got 2nd fret A string, 1st fret D string, 2nd fret G string, 1st fret on the B string. Make sure you don't play that high E note if you can't lift up that bar a little bit so this string doesn't sound out. Make sure that it is muted. This is what it sounds like if you add in the picking. So hybrid picking, first downstroke on the bass note. Hybrid picking, middle finger on the B string. Back a downstroke on the bass note, and then you're letting go of that bar, creating an open B string. Ending up on the 2nd fret as a melody note. I'm playing that last note with a plectrum. Downstroke, hybrid picking, downstroke, hybrid picking, upstroke. Tommy sometimes plays this with a plectrum, sometimes he just uses the middle finger 2 times. So using the middle finger for both the B string and the G string. Moving to an F sharp bass note. Again, if you see Tommy play this, you won't see him move his fingers because again, he plays those 2 strings holding just down the middle finger. So he frets both the A string and the E string at the same time. I have to move my finger to the low E string. 3, 4. Basically, you're now letting go of everything, just playing an open G string, strum down, and heading to the pinky 3rd fret on the high E string with an upstroke, keeping down that note across the bar line again, back into the E minor chord. I know, it's a lot, it's a lot. Let me play that last bar back to back all the way through. Ending up on that high note. One more time, really slowly, with the pick directions. Hybrid picking, down, down, up, down, down, middle finger, down, middle finger, then middle finger, or plectrum, whatever you like, down, up, down, up. That's the full bar. And as you end up there, you're moving straight for that same E minor 7th chord as we played in the first bar, and the rest is basically the same. Up until this point at least, again that awkward stretch between the middle finger and the 1st finger. To A dominant sus4, open A string, middle finger 2nd fret on the D string, open G string, pinky 3rd fret on the B string, and then an open E string. Moving to just a regular A dominant 7th chord with the 2nd fret instead of the pinky 2nd fret with the ring finger. Tommy switches the strumming pattern around again to put a bit more of emphasis or push, rhythmical push on those two chords. So you would expect that first A dominant sus4 chord to be played with an upstroke. Tommy changes it around to a downstroke. Down. And this strumming pattern is a bit more free than most of the other things in this song. This is basically what it sounds like. 3, 4. Strumming pattern. 3, 4. Down, up, down, down, up, down. You're shifting the strumming pattern 2 times. You would expect 2 upstrokes each time you change to a new chord. Tommy switches them over to downstrokes to push the rhythm forward a bit more. 3, 4, down, up, down, down, up, down. Then moving to the funky section. This is all very loose and especially light strumming, starting from an open G string and the index finger 1st fret on the B string. In a lot of tablatures online you see the open E string as well on top. I can never hear it in Tommy's recordings. I've said this before, and right away people post a link to a song where it is really clear. So if you can hear it, then it is open G string, 1st fret on the B string, and an open E string. But I never hear that open E string. I really think he only plays those 2 strings to start out with. That's the 1st chord. Then moving to what you could view as a little B minor triad. Ring finger 4th fret on the G string, middle finger 3rd fret on the B string, index finger 2nd fret on the high E string. And then moving to a little C triad, ring finger 5th fret on the G string, pinky also 5th fret on the B string, index finger 3rd fret on the high E string. And the key to playing this without overthinking it is first learning where the pick strokes should fall on the chords you are actually playing. Down, up, 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 down, up. That is the picking pattern, a bit slower. Down, up, down, up, down, up, and then a little fill, hammer on from an open E string to the 2nd fret and playing an open D string. Right after that, we're playing again that 1st G chord to launch back into the verse. Now, in between those chords I just played, you're going to add some muted notes. Basically, you're just going to keep strumming in 16 notes, and every time you play a chord, you mute those strings right away. Only that one C chord that is bound across the beat, you leave that ringing out. Everything else is as short and snappy as possible. Just really light strumming across those muted strings, and that should give you this effect. So one more time, only the chords you should hear. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And now adding in those muted strums. Down, up, 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 into the next verse. That was the full chorus. A lot to take in yet again, but if this picking motion, that loose 16 note motion, is starting to feel natural, then you are on your way to mastering the song. The 2nd verse and the 2nd chorus are basically complete repetitions of the 1st part. Apart from a few little fills I'm going to show you, it's basically the same fill 2 times in a different spot in the song. First, one more time, the chorus, really slowly, back to front, and then straight into the 2nd verse. that is straight into the next verse. I'm going to play through the next verse. A bit faster, just a little bit below concert speed, so you can get a good look, maybe pick something up you missed along the explanation of the first verse. And then I'm going to add in one single fill. I'm going to stop as soon as I reach that spot. Here we go. Notice that, so just one little fill heading into that F chord. 3, 4. Just one strum. And then in terms of picking motion, downstroke, upstroke, hammer on from an open G string to the second fret. Just down, up, hammer on, upstroke on the open B string, and then to the same fill in the C chord we saw in the first verse already. One more time, really slowly. 3, 4. And that is something Tommy likes to add in as well. Instead of just playing that open B string, really quickly pulling off to that from that first fret again as a little embellishment. That's what we played the first time around. Just that open B string now. A really quick second pull off from that first fret to the open B string. Those two little fills back to back, then straight through the rest of the verse. 3, 4. And the second part is the exact same thing. Straight into the chorus, we are adding in again one single fill. See, it's basically almost the same fill you're playing. Let's go over it first. So G over B chord. So hybrid picking, down, down, up, hammer on, up. Same thing as we did in the lick we added into the first verse. Down, down, up, up. And then you will have to use hybrid picking for two notes at the same time, playing the A string and the B string at the same time. Ending up hybrid picking with those two notes at the same time. In the first chorus, this bass note was played in front of the beat. Now, because of that little single note fill we have added, it is pushed back onto the beat, which means that you will have to play it at the same time as the melody note. And everything else behind that first note is the exact same thing as the first chorus. One more time, really slowly. Everything else after that little piece is the exact same thing as the first time, except for one last fill all the way at the end of the chorus. So the first thing is basically you repeat the first time around. Just repeat that a second time, and then you move it up the neck from that little C triad up 2 frets to a D triad, and then to another C triad at the 8th fret, a little bar with the index finger across 2 strings, high E string and the B string at the 8th fret, adding in the middle finger on the 9th fret of the G string. This is what you get in terms of rhythm. So 3 times the exact same rhythm, only the 3rd time around you're moving up the neck. 2nd time. Third time. And then back to the intro lick. Moving to an open E bass string, moving to an E power chord, 7th fret, 9th fret, 9th fret with the index finger, ring finger and pinky, and 2 open strings on top. This is the first chord of the next section and something we will cover in the next part of the tutorial. Now first let me play this entire chorus, including that one new fill and that last ending section, all the way from back to front, including the transition to that first chord of the next part, just to show you how it all connects. And after that you will be good to go. You have the whole verse and the whole chorus down, but rest assured there is quite a lot of other stuff coming your way in the next few parts of the tutorial. First, one more time, that last chorus. That is the first chord of the next part, something we will be covering in the next tutorial. The best of luck with getting all of this down. I'm going to give you at least a week to get all of this into your fingers, and then I will be back with part 2 of this tutorial, but I'm pretty sure that this will end up as a 3 or maybe even a 4-part tutorial for the very first time on this channel. The best of luck with this one and see you next week. Bye bye.